So I was meditating again, and I got a little message for you. Um, Maybe it's something you're feeling now. Maybe it's something that you're gonna be going through shortly. So if it resonates with you, that's great. Or maybe it will soon. Um, I picked this card just because I think it really fits the energy of the message, and also it's very pretty. Anyway, so the message comes from Spirit Guide. I always tell you is around you. It's your great grandfather. And he says, whatever you're going through right now, just know that you can do it. You just have to slow everything down and remember to breathe. Turn off the overwhelming, stressful thoughts. Just reset. And he says, just calm your nervous system, get back to baseline. And he says sometimes when you get overwhelmed or you lose confidence, you just kind of shut down. Like everything becomes too loud and too much, and maybe you get like sensory overload or something, and then you start to feel very outside yourself, and that feeling, is the feeling of a loss of control, and that can cause you to freeze or have emotional spikes, and just like fear takes over. But he says, it's all right, and there's plenty of time to work everything out. Just breathe and come back to yourself. And nothing right now is more important than having peace of mind. Regulating your emotions should take precedence over anything else that you feel that you have to do. Because really there's nothing that should be getting done until you feel calm and in control. And, maybe you're adhering to too stringent a schedule, pushing everything too much every day. I just feel like there's a lot going on. And if everything's too much, you could just be like, that's enough for now. Take some time to regroup. Take time off of anything that's not completely necessary, or, come back to it shortly when you're feeling more together. And, your guide says that he wants you to remember that you're not trapped by the things that you used to be. If you feel a lot of panic and pressure as a response to various things in your life, to any stressful situation, that's probably kind of a response that's left over from a long time ago. You used to feel very out of control, especially probably when you were younger. You didn't know how to handle things, but he says you're not that child anymore. Where you are now, you have control and you have freedom. And sometimes you keep yourself stuck in place because, you feel like you're trapped in this prison of fear. And when you feel limited, it's like you kind of put yourself into that mental cage. But that's all in your mind, and you're not in the bad place that you used to be in. All those past situations, they're gone. Everything that made you feel limited, stuck, like you didn't control your own life, those are all past situations. Whether that be something from childhood or like a recent scenario that you felt trapped in, the past has ended. And these things can't hold you anymore unless you allow them to. You just really have to push out of those confining thoughts and the stress that they bring. Because, the mind and the body are so connected, and we have these fear-based thoughts, and then, body thinks we're in danger. But, you're not in danger. You're in the present, and you're in charge of your own life, and your thoughts, and your actions, and your decisions. And, at all times, you get to decide what you do next. And, you don't have to do anything that you don't feel like doing. And you don't owe it to anyone, to explain your whole life to them. And, I just keep feeling like close your eyes, breathe, relax. And know that you alone hold control over yourself. And when you connect to those thoughts, your root chakra turns on. That's the chakra of power and stability and identity. You have to know who you are and what you stand for and what your intentions are, and then that's all that matters. That you know yourself and you feel at peace with your choices and your life direction, and you're safe and in control at all times. and anything that makes you feel otherwise is just a negative thought, kind of caging you in. And that's all the message is. So yeah, maybe you relate to that at the moment. Maybe it's going to be coming up, but just always something to keep in mind, especially anytime you feel stressed. And I chose this card Temperance because it's all about calmness and balance and evening out. I think when I got my tarot card tattoo, I told you should get this one as a tattoo. Because I thought it would energetically vibe with you really well. But that's it. So hopefully that helps you out at some point.